There's a new exclusive episode for our Patreon supporters. To view it, go sign up at patreon.com/13week. With the Brady Bunch's 20th anniversary coming up in 1989, creator Sherwood Schwartz decided to capitalize on a surge in Brady nostalgia. He and his son Lloyd sat down and wrote a script for a Christmas special called A Very Brady Christmas. CBS bought the idea, and production started for air in December of 1988. The entire original cast signed on for the movie with two exceptions. Alan Melvin, who played Sam the Butcher, declined the opportunity to return to the role, and Susan Olsen, the original Cindy Brady, would be on her honeymoon in Jamaica when production was scheduled. Olsen was replaced by former Charles in Charge actress Jennifer Runyon. Ron Coleman and Jerry Hauser, who had played Jan and Marcia's husbands in The Brady Brides earlier in the decade, also agreed to reprise their roles. And so the stage was set for the family reunion of the decade. The movie had Mike and Carol Brady, unable to decide where to spend the vacation they'd been saving for years for, decide to fly the entire extended family in for Christmas. We then get a chance to catch up with all the kids, who in true Brady form are dealing with problems. Peter's sleeping with his boss. College dropout Bobby's hiding his decision to become a race car driver from his parents. Jan is preparing to divorce Philip. Marcia's husband Wally has just lost his job. Somehow the entire family manages to make its way back to the homestead, just in time for Mike Brady to be trapped in the rubble of a building he had designed. In true Brady fashion, all the kids and Alice's problems are solved by the end of the movie. Even Mike manages to pull himself both literally and figuratively out of the rubble. A Very Brady Christmas aired on December 18, 1988, and almost 25 million people tuned in, making it the second highest rated TV movie that season. It was a critical hit as well, with audiences relishing the chance to catch up with America's favorite family. CBS, forgetting the disasters that had been the two previous attempts to revive the Brady Bunch, begged the Schwartzes for more. Plans were made for a series of TV movies, starting with The Brady 500, which would see Bobby's NASCAR career cut short when he's paralyzed in an accident, and the family rallying around him as he recovered. Former MTV VJ Martha Quinn was added to the cast as Bobby's fiancée and eventual wife Tracy, and child actor Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who would later go on to stardom on Home Improvement, was cast as Greg's son Kevin. Maureen McCormick, having suffered through two failed spin-offs and two revival movies and wanting to pursue her singing career, declined the invitation to return as Marcia. The role went to Leah Ayres, who had appeared on the soap opera The Edge of Night and Showtime sitcom First and 10. After seeing The Brady 500, CBS executives decided that instead of just being another TV movie, it would better serve as the pilot episode for a new Brady series. CBS felt the more adult soap opera feel of the movie would be the perfect thing to lead into its two high-rated nighttime soaps, Dallas and Falcon Crest. So the Schwartzes quickly converted the concepts they'd had for the next movies in the series into a continuing one-hour drama. And thus, on February 9, 1990, the unsuspecting American public was reintroduced to The Bradys. The show had 3 different openings over the course of 6 episodes. but my favorite is one that wasn't part of the original run and was edited together for syndication.
Here's the story of the family Brady. A mom and dad with all their children grown. Our kids are now pursuing their dreams with families of their own. When our kids were small, their problems all were smaller. As they changed, so did their point of view. The world has taken on a larger meaning since the family grew. The Bradys, oh, the Bradys. That's how the Brady Bunch became the Bradys.
The freeway is coming through, the off-ramp with it, and it's coming right through here.
We'll have to look both ways before we cross the kitchen.
Mickey, this isn't funny.
Just like every other soap opera, the Bradys inflicted one disaster upon another on the characters. Mike and Carol had to deal with the Department of Transportation condemning their house to build a new freeway, which led to Mike running for city council, a race he first loses, then wins on a technicality.
That my re-election has only lasted for 30 seconds, legally and officially.
Meanwhile, Mike decides to literally pick up and move their house.
Then move your house! You can't move a house! Sure you can. Watch. There! It's moved!
Mickey, do that again.
Do it again.
Move the house.
Sure. Okay, it's easy. Put the house on the truck, push the truck to the lot, and put the house on the lot.
Move our house. Move the house?
Sure, people move houses. God, I was so angry and upset about the neighborhood being destroyed, I overlooked a simple solution. Mickey, good thinking.
Anytime, Grandpa.
Great, now we can all still live here forever.
Wally?
It's just a figure of speech.
As for the kids, along with Bobby's being confined to a wheelchair, Cindy wound up sleeping with her boss, Peter broke up with his fiancée, Greg had a mid-career crisis, Jan and Philip dealt with Jan's infertility, eventually choosing to adopt a Korean orphan. Wally kept losing jobs, which resulted in him and Marcia losing their house and having to move back in with Carol and Mike, which in turn led to Marcia becoming an alcoholic.
Doubles is better when there are doubles on both sides.
Well, did she know that we had the court at 2 o'clock?
We discussed it at breakfast.
Or maybe something's up at the house.
Oh, no, that couldn't be it. Mickey's still in school.
Maybe she just got stuck in traffic.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go try and phone her.
The ratings were bad. Very bad. The critics were harsh too, but not as harsh as the fans.
Oh, Wally. God, I'm sorry.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry too.
Essentially, The Bradys was the complete antithesis of the original Brady Bunch series. In the original show, and even in A Very Brady Christmas, all the problems were solved by the end of the episode. Not so with the Bradys. Misfortune stalked the entire family on a non-stop basis, and none of the problems was ever completely resolved. A side effect of reimagining the show as a continuing family drama. In short, the family that American families once aspired to be like turned out to be completely miserable. Add to that the fact that the show was scheduled against ABC's Family Matters and Full House, which dominated the family demographic CBS wanted from the show, and the writing was on the wall. Robert Reed was so disgusted with the show and was fighting so much with Sherwood Schwartz that he demanded to be let out of his contract. Schwartz agreed and wrote a script for an episode to air during the May sweeps that would see Councilman Mike Brady die in a helicopter crash, and Carol being appointed to his seat on the city council. That script, however, would never be produced, since CBS was as tired of the Bradys as Robert Reed was. The show was canceled after only 6 episodes. Ironically enough, for foreign and syndication markets, the show would be re-edited instead of 6 one-hour episodes into 3 two-hour TV movies, just what CBS and the Schwartzes had originally planned. The Bradys marked the end of the original Brady Bunch and of the original cast. Robert Reed died of complications from HIV 2 years later, and the next time America caught up with the family, it would be in 2 movies mocking the original series. An ignominious end for the family that once defined America.